What's going on, y'all? I pray the last week was an incredible, phenomenal, explosive week for you. This week, in Jesus' name, it will be greater. A word that came to me for this week is called "Let Him Cook." Let Him Cook. Those that do know, I run a young men's mentorship program. Me and my boy, Men's Dialect. Shout out to him, by the way, Men's Dialect. We run this young men's mentorship program, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, y'all. I feel old because there's some things that these young dudes be saying that be flying way over my head, but it's all good. God is still good, right? So anyway, this is one figure of speech, I would say, I would call it a figure of speech that the young people have today that kind of stood out to me the most out of like everything I've been hearing recently, and it is and the young people tend to use this phrase or figure of speech or whatever when they are referring to someone taking their time, being patient, being easy, and someone perfecting something. So, for example, let's say I'm a contractor, I'm a construction worker, I'm building a house. I'm taking my time. Some people on the block might say, yo, this dude's taking mad long with this house. He's building this house, whatever. But some other person might look and say, yo, let him cook, bro. Like, let him cook. Meaning, let me take my time. Let me perfect what I'm doing. Let me not rush what I'm doing because I'm going to mess it up. Let him cook. So I'm pretty sure y'all understand where I'm coming from right now and what the whole let him cook means. All right, boom. Now, I'm going to jump into another situation, but it's all going to make sense when I bring it together. Y'all already know how I do my word of the weeks. Everything's going to tie in together. Anyway, recently, I would say like the end of last year, I was heartbroken, y'all. I was devastated. I experienced something that kind of, killed my spirit a little bit. Made me feel sad, hurt, all that other stuff, right? And basically, there was a promotion up in my job, and I had to take a test for this particular promotion, and I was studying so hard for the test, right? I was studying, grinding, reading for years, by the way, like reading hard, like, and because I really wanted it, I really wanted to get this promotion, right? And I went hard. I sacrificed time, energy, sleep, everything, bro, trying to just pass this exam, right? I really wanted to pass this exam because I wanted to better my life, my family's life, everything financially, whatever. I wanted to really get it. And this is something I was looking forward to, right? Like for a long time. So now preparing, doing everything I got to do, going to courses, everything for a long time. When I say years, for a couple years, right? So now, I take the exam, get my scores back, and I found out that I failed the test, right? I failed this exam that I was preparing for some years, for a long time, right? I found out that I failed it. Devastated, heartbroken, everything, spirit crushed, everything negative you want to think, that's how I was thinking, and that's how I was feeling, right? Questioning God, Lord, why did you make me study so hard? Why did you give me the desire to want to study for this exam? And now I failed this exam. I felt embarrassed. I felt hurt. I felt dumb. I felt everything. I'm like, yo, God, why did you let me go through this? Questioning him, boxing him, all of that, like driving home, just really running off at the mouth, trying to figure out why, trying to make it make sense, but it just wasn't making sense to me because I'm like, Lord, I know your word says faith without works is dead. I put in the work, I threw the faith in there, and it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. Got heartbroken, got devastated, right? So time goes on, and I'm still mad. And all of a sudden, this thought comes to my mind, the figure of speech I was talking to you guys about, let him cook, right? So basically, there was a young person that I saw playing basketball one day. God forgive me if I'm wrong. There was a young person playing ball one day, and big game going on. There was some young people on the sideline, and there was this one dude that was coming down the court, taking his time with the ball, real easy with it, perfecting his moves, everything, real smooth with it, right? And then people was like, yo, bro, yo, come on, shoot. But I heard somebody say, yo, let him cook, bro. Let him cook. Let him cook. Meaning, like I said, taking your time, perfecting your moves. Don't, like no rushing. So the dude was coming up, young down the court, taking his time real easy with it. The dude on the side, I said, yo, bro, Don't rush him. Let him cook. Because he knew that the dude that was coming down with the basketball, he's a dope player. And his shots always going, right? So, boom, we did his thing. So that young man's words, let him cook, just kept ringing in me, ringing in my head, ringing in my spirit. Let him cook. Let him cook. Meaning, let God cook. Let God cook. And I'm questioning, I'm like, yo, God, what's taking you so long to cook what I'm supposed to be eating? Like, what? Let him cook. What does that mean? So I kept feeling it in my spirit. Yo, let him cook. Meaning, God is cooking up something that I can't see or smell. Or rather, not that I can't smell. I can't see it, but I smell it. It's just like when you in the kitchen, when you're a little kid, when you're a little kid, your grandmother, grandfather, pops, or moms cooking something or they baking something. You don't know what they're baking or they're cooking, but you smell it. And because they get busy in the kitchen, it's going to taste good when they finish with that meal. Whoever's the chef in the kitchen, they get busy. You can't see what they're cooking. You don't know the spices. You don't know the ingredients, but that meal that they're cooking up for you specifically is going to taste good because of the track record of cooking in the kitchen. They ain't never burned the rice, right? So I'm thinking and I'm hearing that word over and over and over and over and over in my spirit. Let him cook. Let God cook. Let God cook. So you know what the hardest thing to do is after disappointment? Letting God cook. I'm looking around and I'm seeing everybody like just moved on, excel, passed the exam. And I'm like, Father God, what did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong? Is it something that I did? And the Lord is like, no, I'm cooking something specifically for you. That's a dish that you ain't never had before. God is cooking up a meal specifically for me that I've never tasted or I've never even knew existed. I didn't even know those where you can even find the kind of spices that he's using for the meal that God is cooking for me. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like trying to figure it out, trying to make it make sense. And it just don't make sense. So when things don't make sense, I have no choice but to let God cook. Let God take his time. Let him perfect what he's doing. Because right now I'm outside the kitchen waiting to see what God is cooking, but he's not letting me see it because the chef don't want everybody in the kitchen. The chef don't want everybody in the kitchen. I want to taste the spoon so bad because I know it's going to taste good, but God is like, I'm not, get out of my kitchen. Let me cook. Let him chef up a meal specifically for me. So this word of the week, let him cook, is for everybody who has recently experienced disappointment. Whether you experience disappointment in a marriage, whether you experience disappointment or failure at a job, an exam in school, you didn't pass the test that you thought you was going to pass. Look at me. I studied so long for an exam, a promotional exam in my job, and I didn't get it. I failed it. For those who wanted to get that house, they went so hard, they saved up all their money, try to go for the house, but it just didn't work. And you've been trying and it just didn't work. You tried, you did what you thought was right, and you didn't get what you thought that you should have gotten. I'm talking to you. Let him cook. Let God cook. God is chefing up something specifically for you. God is cooking a meal specifically for you. That's for nobody else. Nobody can't eat the meal that he's cooking for you. He preparing a table just for you. I know you're disappointed. I know you didn't pass the test. I know that this person cheated on you. I know that you didn't get the crib that you wanted to get. I know you didn't get the apartment you wanted to get because people outbidded you. I know. I get it. I understand. Trust me, I get it. I failed an exam that I thought that I should have passed, that everybody around me thought I was going to pass because they knew that I knew the work. But you got to let God cook. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. I have to let God cook. God is chefing up something specifically for me. And if you're disappointed, if you experienced disappointment recently and you went hard and you in your expectations or whatever just wasn't met, remember, you got to let God cook. Meaning let him take his time. Let him do his thing. Don't rush him. Listen, look at me. I have a clothing brand, No More Young. After failing that exam, I'm going to let y'all know something. After failing that exam, something in me just, it was like a fire. Yo, something just said to me, boom, close. I'm like, what? Close. I'm like, all right, Lord, it is what it is. Let me do it. Went hard, boom, I got a clothing brand that people are really feeling is catching fire by the grace and glory of God. And I feel like, in retrospect, I'm thinking to myself, yo, if I passed that test, I wouldn't have felt the anger that I felt when I failed it to start this clothing brand, No More Young. This clothing brand, No More Young, was birthed out of anger and frustration. When I failed that exam and I thought I was supposed to pass it, I got angry. I gotta let God cook. So if you went through disappointment recently, whatever it may be, whether it be a breakup, somebody cheated on you, somebody played you, whatever, for money, house didn't come through that you were supposed to, that you wanted to get, you didn't get the car you were supposed to get, whatever it may be, disappointment at any level, let God cook. Meaning, let God take his time. Don't rush him. You don't want to rush the cook in the kitchen, because if you rush the cook in the kitchen while he's cooking fish, the fish ain't gonna be done well. It's not gonna be cooked right, and you're gonna get sick if you eat it. So let God cook. Let God take his time with what he's doing in you. He's doing something to you, perfecting you. He's creating something, a meal that's specifically made just for you. Let God cook. Keep God first. Everything else will fall into place. Have a beautiful, blessed, beloved week, y'all. Be strong. Peace.